Welcome to Prime 9, the countdown show that covers the very best in baseball. Guaranteed to start arguments, not end them. This episode features the 9 most memorable strikeouts. Why 9? That's baseball. 9 players, 9 innings. Prime 9. Every strikeout you are about to see took place during postseason play. Some ended games, some ended seasons. And a few, oddly enough, allowed the inning to continue.
The ball was thrown on the ground by Josh Paul back to the mound, and Brzezinski's the only one that thought about it.
But each and every one of them came at a crucial moment in either the game or the series.
Strike 3 called, and the Boston Red Sox have come from behind, trailing 2 games to none.
It's also safe to say that these killer Ks had a huge impact on the outcome of each team's run in the postseason.
Here comes the pitch. Strike 3. A no-hitter, a perfect game for Don Larson.
So here they are, the 9 strikeouts that are forever etched in Major League lore.
Swing and a miss. Pedro Martinez, 6 innings of hitless relief.
Beginning with number 9 on Prime 9. In Game 1 of the '88 ALCS, Wade Boggs and Dennis Eckersley met in a tone-setting series showdown.
Bottom of the 9th inning, 2-1 Oakland, the tying run at second. And who would you like to have at the plate any more so than Wade Boggs if you're the Red Sox?
That's 2 fierce competitors looking at each other. Nobody wants to be shown up.
Both men were at the top of their game. In just his second season as a closer, Eckersley exhibited extraordinary control.
We called him Paint. That was his nickname because he was right on the corners, both inside and outside.
Got him, and the game is over that quickly.
It took me a long time in the big leagues to realize you don't have to throw the ball as hard as you can.
Look at that location.
Boggs, meanwhile, was bat control personified.
He could do anything with a bat at any time that he wanted to do it.
And a picture-perfect swing from Wade Boggs, what we've seen so often.
A swing that earned him his 4th straight batting title in '88 with a .366 average.
I'm not so sure that man couldn't get a hit if they turned the lights out in here.
So which of these masters of their craft prevailed? Let's revisit pitch by pitch.
Strike call. Boy, he just doesn't miss the plate, does he?
I was playing off the fear of what was at stake.
Strike 2. This guy has 2 strikes on him, but he's the best 2-strike hitter in baseball.
And he wasn't going down without a fight.
Foul back. Boy, just kept that one.
One of the things that Eckersley does so well is when he gets ahead of you, he usually closes you out.
I wanted them to know that this game was over.
So he put it where not even Boggs could hit it.
He struck him out, and Dennis Eckersley gets out of a big jam.
I just think it was a situation that Eck threw a ball in a place that I wasn't expecting it to go.
And the Oakland A's have taken a 1-0 lead in the American League Championship Series.
In the 1986 NLCS, the Mets were up 3-2 on the Astros and had just rallied from a 3-0 deficit in the 9th inning of Game 6. The bases were loaded with 2 outs when a fresh bat came off the bench.
The Mets have tied the game at 3 in the top of the 9th inning. And Danny Heath is at the plate.
On the mound stood Dave Smith, determined to keep the Mets at bay.
Struck him out.
But while this was a big strikeout, it was not the biggest of the game, for there was still a long way to go. When the Mets took a 4-3 lead in the 14th, they felt confident calling on number 47 out of the bullpen.
We had Jesse Orosco, who Jesse had been a workhorse all year.
Jesse Orosco making his 3rd appearance. 2 wins and a save would be quite a championship series.
We felt like the game was over.
But Billy Hatcher did not.
High in the air, toward the corner. It is home run! And a 4-4 tie at the bottom of the 14th inning, and Jesse Orosco is really stung for the first time in the series.
The Mets then took a 3-run lead in the top of the 16th, but Orosco gave up 2 of his own in the bottom half, and up came Kevin Bass with the tying run on second.
Kevin Bass come to the plate, who had very good power, good from the right side.
So Keith Hernandez had some pointed words of wisdom for his pitcher.
He went to Jesse and he said, Jesse, if you get crazy and throw a fastball, I'm going to hit you.
Well, Jesse took that advice to heart and opened with 5 straight breaking balls.
Same pitch, same place.
And to end this classic marathon, he threw still another.
3-2 to bat. Struck him out.
Jesse throwed his glove, set it off for all of us. It was finally over, but it was well earned.
And the New York Mets have won the 1986 National League pennant.
Welcome back to Prime 9, featuring the game's most memorable strikeouts. We've made our case for 9 and 8, which means it's time for number 7. The 1980 World Series between Kansas City and Philadelphia was tied at 2 games apiece, with the Phillies now just 2 wins away from their first championship in almost 100 years.
The city was just starved for winning baseball. And all of us knew that if we didn't do it this year, they were going to have to start breaking the team up. And here we all thought we were going to be a dynasty, and we still hadn't won our first championship yet. So going into that World Series, we knew we had to win.
The Phillies scored 2 in the top of the 9th to take a 1-run lead, and now look to their durable relief ace to close it out. But this was Tug's 3rd inning of work, and he ran into trouble.
I had all the faith in the world in Tug. I knew something good was going to happen.
Big strikeout. George Brett called out on strikes.
Special things always happened when Tug was around.
Ball 4, walking. Tying run goes to second.
Yeah, I was down in the bullpen in right field, and we knew that Dallas was not going to take Tug out in that situation.
A fielder's choice produced the second out and put runners on the corners. But just a few pitches later, and they were loaded.
Ball 4, walking. And Tug McGraw's got 2 outs, and he's not getting out of this inning very easily.
He now had to face a contact hitter in Jose Cardinal. If ever Tug wanted a K, it was here.
It's a do or die. You're either hero or goat.
Tug had 2 great strikeouts in the 1980 World Series. The first one being Cardinal.
Struck him out.
When he struck him out to give the Phillies the win.
And now the Phillies leading in this series 3-2.
That was a mighty, mighty important strikeout. As was, of course, his strikeout of Willie Wilson in the next game of the series.
Woo, the baseball gods were looking after me then. Yes, sir, Bob. And now every little kid in Philadelphia remembers that.
Game 2 of the 2005 ALCS was the stage for one of the oddest strikeouts in postseason history, but one that seemingly turned the tide.
That was obviously a key game for us. We had won the first game, and here we are in great position to win Game 2.
It was the bottom of the 9th with the score tied at 1, and Chicago catcher A.J. Pierzynski was at the plate.
3-2 on Pierzynski. A payoff pitch with 2 outs. A.J. swings and misses a splitter. He strikes out.
Pierzynski is going down to first. Is he going to be given first base on a pitch in the dirt?
For some reason, when I took a step towards our dugout, it popped in my head, I'm not out until he tags me. Or they throw it to first, and I didn't see him do either one, so I turned around and ran.
Pierzynski is going to go down to first, and Mike Scioscia wants to know what the heck just happened.
It was a swing. Our catcher caught it. Doug Hadings called him out. And somewhere along the line, because the guy ran the first base, he altered the call.
If Josh Paul made the catch, which he did, then it's a strikeout. Pierzynski's thinking, hey, why not?
AJ, what possessed you to run? What?
I didn't hear him call me out. You know, you're taught if the 3rd strike's in the dirt, you run, and, you know, Josh didn't tag me. I think he thought he caught it.
The ball was thrown by Josh Paul back to the mound, and Pierzynski's the only one that thought about it.
Well, I keep on telling people it was a heads-up play by AJ. I mean, obviously it was a tough call. I still don't know if it went the right way or wrong way.
You know, this is a game by inches, and we take advantage in the 2 inches help us today. I always say I'd rather be lucky and be good.
Take advantage of the break.
I was safe, and Ozuna stole a base, and Creedy hit the double to win the game.
Into the left field corner, off the wall. The White Sox have won, and the ALCS is tied at a game apiece.
The shell-shocked Angels never recovered, losing the next 3 as well to the eventual world champions.
And the White Sox have won the World Series.
Those are tough calls. I mean, those things have happened over 100 years of baseball. That's what makes it a great game.
Do you think you've seen everything? No.
Welcome back to Prime 9 and the game's most memorable strikeouts. Eck and Boggs checked in at 9, followed by Orozco and Bass. Then came Tug and Jose at number 7, and Escobar and AJ at 6, which means it's time for number 5. Game 2 of the '78 World Series between the Yankees and Dodgers delivered a strikeout for the ages. Los Angeles was leading by a run, but New York had 2 on with 2 out in the 9th.
So we're down to the last out for the Yankees.
It was a 4-3 game, and the game was on the line, and that's who the Yankees wanted up, Mr. October.
Now it comes down to Reggie Jackson.
He'd earned the nickname the year before.
Faced with the task of taming this home run beast was a hard-throwing rookie right-hander.
21 years old, Bob Welch.
You know, here's a kid, man, and here's a kid that we trusted. He was a very confident, almost cocky kid, and he didn't care who was up there.
The kid against the veteran. The fastballer against a fastball hitter.
Well, you know, I was shaking in my drawers, to tell you the truth. You know, it's the first time I get a chance to pitch in a World Series, and I'm going out there, and then here comes Reggie Jackson up, you know, and I started shaking a little bit more, and the crowd started getting a little bit louder.
You couldn't ask for a more dramatic moment for a young pitcher to walk into right here.
You know, we're supposed to crowd him. We're supposed to crowd him and keep crowding him, and that's what Welchie did.
He really gets out of the way late, doesn't he?
He must have thrown 13 fastballs, one right after another, and he fouled 13 of them back.
Well, I'm telling you, my palms are sweating up here in the booth.
Foul back.
I had thought in my mind, Bob, keep the ball out.
High, ball 3, we're down to a full count.
Because Reggie has this pure home run uppercut. So if the ball was down, it was in his wheelhouse. If it was up, I thought we had a good chance, and he struck him out on a high fastball.
Struck him out. Ball game is over. Bob Welch, a tremendous pitching performance.
When Reggie struck out, I mean, the building shook.
He's very disgusted. His reaction is phenomenal.
He was as dramatic in striking out as he was in hitting a home run.
And the Dodgers win game number 2 by the score of 4-3.
What a confrontation. Never saw anything like it in my entire life.
Our 4th most memorable strikeout took place in Game 5 of the 2003 ALDS. Oakland had blown a 2-0 lead in the series, and now, in the deciding game, Boston was up by 1 in the bottom of the 9th.
That was a fascinating game, fascinating inning. Scott Williamson opened the inning for the Red Sox, walked the first 2 hitters.
Ball 4. He walked him inside and low. The winning run is now at first base.
Now they will give the ball to Derek Lowe.
I came in, there was first and second, no outs.
They bunted the 2 runners over to second and third.
And it is put down perfectly by Ramon Hernandez.
Then Ken Maka, the A's manager, made a very controversial decision. Even though Jermaine Dye had been in the MVP race the year before, he pinch hit a backup catcher named Adam Melhuse, and Lowe struck him out.
Strike 3 called. 2 men out in the 9th, and Singleton is coming up.
And Lowe was afraid of Chris Singleton. He pitched around him and walked him.
And they are loaded.
Which they knew was going to bring Terrence Long, left-handed hitting backup outfielder, to the plate to pinch hit.
It's a do-or-die pitch, you know, 2-seamer. You throw it directly at the left-hander's hip, and you just hope it comes back.
Strike 3 called. The Red Sox win it.
Series over. The Red Sox had come back from 2-0 and won the series.
Bring on the Yankees.
That's a tough pitch to throw with the bases loaded.
Strike 3 called. Game over. Red Sox win.
It's one of those pitches where you only get one shot to try to pull it off, and we're able to do it.
The Boston Red Sox have come from behind, trailing 2-0.
That moment was Derek Lowe as a competitor at his greatest.
41, the Yankees are in the World Series again, and the Brooklyn Dodgers had not won a pennant since 1920.
Now it's the 4th game, and Brooklyn is on the verge of tying the series at 2-all. The Dodgers have a 4-3 lead in the 9th inning.
9th inning, nobody on, 2 out,
and Tommy Hendrick is the batter.
Hugh Casey's got me 3-2, 2 men out.
Hugh Casey was known every so often to load the ball up. By that I mean would throw a spitball on some occasions, and then this was really a spot for him to do it.
I was a little kid, but I listened to it on the radio, threw a spitter to Tommy Hendrick, who swung and missed.
Hendrick swings and misses.
The game was over, but no, it was not.
So to speak, you won. The ball gets away from him. Hendrick racing to first is safe. The Yankees remain alive.
Hendrick said that all he knew was that the ball broke sharply.
Turns out to be the sharpest breaking curveball that Hugh Casey has ever thrown.
I gave him the curveball sign, and this one broke. It went choom down like that.
I know I'm not going to hit it. I'm looking behind me, and there goes the ball.
And if you gave the 1941 Yankees any bit of extra life, you were in serious trouble.
Joe DiMaggio singles to left. Charlie Keller rips one deep to right field as the Yankees take the lead 5-4.
And before you know it, the Yankees scored 4 runs and defeated the Dodgers, and the Dodgers rolled over, and the next game was a 5-game conclusion.
A lot of people feel if they'd gotten that out and the Dodgers had won that game, it would have been a different World Series.
The blame has always gone to Owen, and Owen never blasted Casey.
I felt sorry for Hugh Casey because he is such a great pitcher and pitched such a good game, and here a goof like me missing it.
All my life I've said, I could have been the GOAT. All he has to do is block the ball and I'm the GOAT.
The biggest boo-boo in baseball.
We now return to Prime 9, where in this episode we're featuring the most memorable strikeouts we've ever seen. These are all classic postseason whiffs that took place at a most critical time in the game or the series. So of all the crucial playoff matchups which ended in a strikeout, it's time for what we believe are the top 2. We begin with number 2. It was the 2006 NLCS between the Cardinals and Mets. And the tension-filled Game 7 had one of the best catches in postseason history.
Just swinging a fly ball to left field. Going back is Andy Chavez. He jumped at the fence, and he caught it. He brought back a home run. The relay to first base, and they double off the runner.
Everyone felt like when Chavez robbed Rolen of the home run that maybe this was not going to be the season. Then out of nowhere, Molina comes through in the clutch.
At the wall, this ball is gone.
Hits the home run, gives you a lead. Woo! Then Adam Wainwright gets in trouble in the 9th inning.
The bases are loaded with 2 outs for Beltran.
Since 2004, Carlos had smashed 11 home runs in postseason play. A tough foe and a no-mistake situation for the rookie pitcher.
Remember, the Cardinal closer, Isringhausen, was injured late that season, so you had to go to a young pitcher, Adam Wainwright.
Beltran could tie it with a hit, win it for the Mets, and send New York to the World Series with an extra base hit.
Yadier came out to the mound and said, all right, what are you thinking here? And I said, hey, what are you thinking here? And he said, all right, let's go fastball down and away. I said, all right, we'll try that one time. And then when he got back to home plate, I think he had second thoughts. He didn't want a chance leaving a fastball up and out, Carlos Beltran. So he goes like this. He goes, follow me. So I said, all right, we'll go with you. And then he put down changeup, and I was thinking, man, that's a great plan.
Strike one.
Had him 0-1, tried to throw a strike curve, and he swung at it, missed.
And now the Mets down to their last strike.
I said, I'm going to just throw the nastiest curveball I've ever thrown, and if he hits it, I'll tip my hat, but if not, we're going to the series.
Struck him out, and the Cardinals have won the pennant.
You talk about the curveball of the century, or a curveball freezing a hot hitter. That was it.
Carlos Beltran caught looking at a curveball and sends the Cardinals to the World Series.
But it's a World Series Game 7 80 years prior that stands above the rest, featuring 2 future Hall of Famers whose careers were at very different stages.
Tony Lazzeri was a rookie slugger in 1926, and he had 18 home runs, which doesn't sound so impressive, but it was 5th most in the major leagues that season.
He'd be facing a 39-year-old who excelled like few others.
Grover Cleveland Alexander, who was alcoholic, epileptic, but one of the greatest pitchers who ever lived.
With the Cardinals up 3-2 and 2 out in the 7th inning of Game 7, the Yankees loaded the bases for Lazzari, and player-manager Rogers Hornsby called on his old horse in the pen.
Lester Bell, the third baseman of the Cardinals, said there were younger men in the bullpen, but there was only one man we wanted to see coming out of there.
Let's see who it's going to be. It is going to be Grover Cleveland Alexander. Home Pete will come on.
Alexander came out and he told Hornsby how he's going to pitch to Lazzari. I'm going to pitch the first one, fastball inside, and then I'm going to curve him low and away. 1, 2, 3. And Hornsby said, no, you can't do that. You can't throw him a fastball. He's a fastball hitter. And Alexander said, if I put it where I want to put it, he's going to hit it foul if he hits it at all. And then Hornsby said, well, who the hell am I to tell you how to pitch?
So Alexander followed his plan to perfection, even getting a long fly ball off his fastball that went foul. The old master had the rookie right where he wanted him.
The pitch is swung on and up for strike 3. Home Pete comes in and strikes out, push him up Lazzari with the bases full.
It's funny how many people think that was the end of the game, but it wasn't, because the game ended oddly in the 9th. He gets down with 2 out. He gets a 3-2 on Babe Ruth.
And he pitched him with such caution, he ended up walking him. And Ruth, for some reason, got it into his head to steal second base. The big guy takes off. Tag is made. End of series. And for once, age triumphed over youth.
The Cardinals had their first title, and Alexander, his place in baseball lore.
Of all the many games and innings that Alexander worked, he's remembered mostly for one at-bat.
Even though Alexander threw a wrench in the Ruth and Gehrig machine in 1926, it sure didn't slow them down. The Yankees went on to sweep their next World Series in 27, their next one in 28, and you guessed it, their next one in 1932.
I think I'm a pretty fortunate fella to get in my 10th World Series. I think that's going to be a record to stand for a long time.
That's 3 fall classics and 12 straight wins. But old Pete also did just fine. That's him right there at the very first Hall of Fame ceremony in 1939. And he finished his career tied with Christy Mathewson for wins with 373. The most in National League history, and a record that still stands today. That's our Prime 9. What's yours?